Gets worse when it's treated with neglect. Well, don't turn.
I love an Aperol spritz.
Me too. It's one of my favorites.
And very spring.
I was just gonna say, like the spring vibes it gives me, like just. I wish we were sitting on a patio or a porch having them, but
very soon, very, very soon.
Unfortunately, spring in Maine has not been
I know.
very cooperative.
we get a teaser day and then we get 5 not teaser days.
Right, like we've had snow, sleet, freezing rain in the last like week. Yeah. But almost here. The real estate market is totally heating up.
It's hot.
You've been talking to some people. Everyone's getting excited about putting their house on the market, starting to look around a little bit.
Yeah, I think people are coming out of their homes and like stretching and getting ready to do all the things. My business partner Leah and I have been taking lots and lots of calls from sellers. I would love for them to list ASAP, but I understand that people want to wait until they have better weather. Right now, if they listed, they'd have less competition, but I completely understand. They're asking some great questions of what they should do as far as getting ready to list. I think that's a great conversation to have to prepare yourself and just get all your ducks in a row.
Yeah. So if I called you today and I said, hey, Nikki, I'm putting my house on the market, what would you tell me to focus on?
I would tell you to focus on decluttering, which we've talked about in the past. And I would definitely start thinking of the outside of the house. You know, I'm a big fan of a pressure washer, as I know you are.
Yes.
I would pressure wash
all the things. The patio cushions, the driveway, you name it.
You can use it on your vinyl siding, just be so careful because some of them get really, really powerful and break it. And you want it to be warmer out because they're brittle when it's super cold. But definitely pressure wash your vinyl siding, your deck. Sometimes you think you need to paint your deck and it just needs a good pressure wash. Yeah, I love to do the driveway, all the things.
It's exciting.
It's very exciting.
So I call you, you tell me, Carrie, make sure that you declutter, you know, spruce up the outside a little bit, take your pressure washer out, you know, kind of get things looking a little bit more spiffed up.
Yeah.
Anything else you'd tell me to take care of?
Honestly, I would probably go through and maybe look at your gutters because you might have done it before the snow started falling, but a lot of people are not clearing out the leaves before the snow. And you can use your pressure washer, which is great. I would also go around and check. We talked about windows and how they can be a bit drafty and just sort of check and make sure that everything is up to par there. You need to put your screens back in because a lot of people take their screens out because they can be kind of an inconvenience. And then honestly, I feel like you nailed it when you said spruce up. Like, you don't need to put a lot of effort or money into it for sure.
And so with people that are getting ready to sell, they've gone through now, they've looked at their gutters, they're spruced up everything, and now they're saying, how much do I sell my home for? How can you help them with that?
Absolutely. So I pull comps is what we call them, and they are houses that have sold in your area that might be similar. We try to get apples to apples, but a lot of times we're doing apples to oranges, and we try to get as close to the house as possible. And we have a great system that we use appraisals from past closings to figure out those figures of if you have 1 bathroom and this house had 2, like we're adding or subtracting, and we can definitely come up with a great price. We also have a business partner and we like to talk to the seller and see how they feel as well. Like, we have a price in mind, but we want to hear from the seller. It's almost like a team effort. You know, what have you seen? What have you been hearing?
And so I have spruced up my house.
Yep.
I now have the right price.
Next, well, we're going to schedule a cleaning. And I usually do the cleaning because I'm a little picky about the cleaning. So I will clean somebody's house for them and get it ready for pictures. So then we get professional pictures done. We use a person who is just fantastic, and he'll also sometimes get drone photos so we can see if you've got a lot of lands, like for your house, for instance, 5 acres, we're going to get a drone because we want to show that acreage. If you're in a neighborhood, we don't do that as much because we don't really want to. I actually think it's not legal to show other houses in your pictures. So that's what we're doing there. And then we're also scheduling for the sign installation. So we've got the price the sign is in, the pictures are done, and then we're just going live on the MLS.
The next thing is people are going to come and look at your house. And so you need to be prepared, leave to have things to do to keep after you've done that cleaning, that's wonderful, but then you need to keep up on it. So what other things would you tell people? Like, make sure you're prepared for this because, we want your house to sell. In order to do so, we need some help from you.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if you have pets, especially cats, like just the litter box I think is always a huge thing. Just make sure it's cleaned up. If you do have dogs, unfortunately, it's better to probably put them somewhere, come grab them, put them in your car, just so that people can walk around and you're not worrying about that. We had a great question today from a seller, and it's something that I don't think we're talking about enough, is medication. You have to lock up your medication. You need to get it out of the house if you're, take it with you that day. It's something that I have thought about, but didn't realize that it could be a problem because you are having strangers come in through your house and you just don't know who's coming and what's going to happen. So it's a good idea. Medications, put them away. I do think that if you have a lot of photos everywhere, it is kind of nice to depersonalize a little bit in that way so people can picture themselves in the house as opposed to seeing that somebody's living there, if that makes sense.
And so I guess I had never really thought about the medications before. Like any kind of valuables, checkbooks,
absolutely,
that kind of thing. Like you want to make sure that your home is secure while you're not there.
100%, yeah, because the agent that is showing the home, because not all sellers agents will be in attendance of the showing. My partner Leah and we will be at every showing because we just want to make sure that we're in control, make sure things are put away, lights are off. But another big thing is your jewelry, for sure. People leave out money sometimes. It's just, you just don't know if they're going to be watched by their agent, unfortunately, and they're just roaming your house, which can be kind of uncomfortable.
So not to scare anyone, or to be prepared to just make sure that you're keeping your home and all of your things, safe in the process. So now I've called you, I have spruced up, I have cleaned up all the things, and we have the MLS live. People are coming and looking at my house. You've helped me set the perfect price and the offers start rolling in.
Yeah.
Now what?
That's the fun part. So we will sit down, have a meeting, and we're going to go through those offers. We're kind of matching up. A lot of times you get a lot of the similar ones, and we're kind of matching those up. And then we're putting those aside, and we're looking at the ones that really, really, really stand out. The cleanest, the highest, the people that they've brought their A game, they're ready, they want this house. Sometimes that actually is not even the highest offer. There's so many different components of an offer that could stand out to a seller. It could be that they can close fast, and that's what the seller needs. It doesn't always have to be price. Sometimes it is price.
Yeah. So you mentioned cleanest, which I know because I sat with you and we talked a lot about a clean offer the last time. For anyone that doesn't know what a clean offer is, can you explain that?
A clean offer is going to be an offer that doesn't have as many contingencies as other offers. So some people waive inspections. That's a personal decision. You definitely need to talk to your broker. Don't make that decision lightly at all. You might need a long closing, and that could be kind of mucky. You might have a house to sell, which none of these things will take you out of the game necessarily, but they could. If you have so many of those contingencies, it's not a very attractive offer to a seller.
So I guess what I'm picking up on there is two things. Like, as a buyer, make sure that you understand all of those things that might contribute to whether or not you'd end up in pile A or pile B. As the seller themselves, thinking ahead of time when you're putting together not just the price, but then what things are going to be important to you.
Right.
Is it going to be, to your point, like it sells fast, or you know what, I'm not going to have my new place for another 2 months, and so I don't care. I need a place to stay in the meantime, or whatever things might be important to them at that time.
I've had sellers that have accepted an offer based on the fact of how badly the buyers wanted it. Their agent got them in there ASAP. They were in there as fast as possible. They submitted an offer as fast as possible because they wanted to be in that house. And I feel like that was attractive to them, and they weren't even the highest offer. It was just that their agent was very communicative with us. They were telling us how badly these buyers wanted to be in that house, and they wanted it, and they would do anything to be in there. So that can be attractive as well. It's not always about price, which is very interesting.
I think I've actually been on both sides of that. I remember selling one of our homes, and I really wanted it to sell fast because I had another home that we were contingent upon the sale of that house. So that was the most important to me. On the other side, when I was helping my mom sell our childhood home, it was very important to me that we got people into the home that were going to enjoy and kind of carry on some of those things in that situation that you described. The people came in, they were excited, they went out of their way to let us know how much they wanted that home, and that was important to me in those circumstances.
Yes, and I do think a lot of times the first offer is the best because they are getting in, they see it, they want it, their agent is on it. Honestly, if I were to look back at a lot of offers that were accepted, they usually are the first one to come in. I just think it shows eagerness.
So now that we've covered all the bases, I think if I was looking to buy or sell today, what are my next steps with you?
With us, well, first of all, we're going to set up a meeting. We are going to bring all of the paperwork, and we're just going to go through so that you understand the process, because it can be quite overwhelming, especially if you're going to do both in the same, which you've done, and it can be a lot when you're buying and selling at the same time. And so you would give us a call, we would set up a meeting, and we're just going to comb through every inch of any sort of contract that you're going to come across, and just essentially talking about what it's going to look like.
Yeah. And so they'll call you, set up an appointment, and then work out all of those details.
Correct. Yep.
Pretty simple.
I think so. We try to make it as easy as possible. We really do. I think we like to take on the burden so that our sellers do not have to.
Okay. So I think the last thing before we exit out here would be to ask the people, like what things do they want to learn about? What expertise can Nikki share through this format that may be helpful to them, whether they're looking to buy or sell, or just even, kind of maintain the value of their home. I have no desire to leave, but I do want to make sure that I'm making proper investments and things, just for the future. Like I think you had told me a story about someone who was looking, do I put in a second bathroom or not?
Yes. So I think that I like to be the source of any sort of real estate question. I don't need people to buy or sell with me. I just really I love real estate. So I think it's a great investment. So it really lights me up. And so even if you just have a random question about, should I put in a second bathroom? If we're going to sell in 5 years, is it worth it, essentially? And I was able to help a friend of mine decide that, a second bathroom actually would bring them a lot of value, because I was able to run a few sold properties in the area and give them a couple of different figures of what would bring for them. And so it did end up making sense for them to put in that second bathroom, and I think it'll sell better because buyers want 2 bathrooms.
Yeah.
Or more.
I mean, we all need our own bathroom, right?
Yeah, that would be lovely.
Well, you're putting in a bathroom right now, so
Yes, we are.
something that you could even talk about your own personal experience with.
Yeah.
I think that...
Thanks, Carrie.
Thank
I appreciate you. Cheers again.
Cheers.
Yay. To spring.
To spring. And deck days, and pool days, and beach days, and all the things.
Decks that you've power washed.
Yes. Definitely the power washed deck. And selling homes. Thank you.